All right, get ready, because today we're taking a deep dive into something pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it's a bit of a surprising connection we're going to explore.
We're talking about the Hawthorne Effect, but not in the way you might expect.
That's right. We're going to see how it applies to something you wouldn't typically associate with it.
Buckle up, because we're heading from a 1920s factory floor straight to the delivery room.
Yeah, who would have thought those two could be related, Rick?
I bet you're wondering what on earth those two scenarios could possibly have in common.
Well, it all comes down to this idea that people change their behavior when they know they're being watched.
Oh, you mean like when you suddenly become super aware of your posture when someone walks by?
Exactly. That's the basic premise of the Hawthorne Effect.
And that was first discovered way back in the 1920s in a factory setting, no less.
Yep. Researchers at the Hawthorne Works factory were trying to figure out how to get their workers to be more productive.
So they were like, maybe if we tweak the lighting a bit, they'll work faster.
Something like that. They thought changing the physical environment would make a big difference.
And what happened? Did brighter lights lead to more widgets?
Well, here's the kicker. No matter what changes they made, productivity went up.
So it wasn't the lighting or anything like that.
It was the act of being observed, of knowing someone was paying attention to them. That seemed to be the real driving force.
So basically, feeling valued and seen actually made them work harder.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? That realization kind of revolutionized the way we think about motivation and behavior.
It really makes you think, if something as simple as feeling noticed can have such a big impact in a factory.
Imagine the possibilities in other areas of life, right? And that's what we're going to explore today.
That's right. We're taking this concept of the Hawthorne Effect and applying it to, wait for it, childbirth.
Now, I know that might sound like a giant leap, but bear with me.
For our listeners who might be expecting or supporting someone who is, get ready for some seriously useful insights.
We're going to delve into how this effect can actually be harnessed to create a more positive and empowering childbirth experience.
So how on earth does a study about factory workers in the 1920s relate to giving birth?
Well, think about it. Childbirth is an incredibly intense and personal experience, right?
Absolutely.
And having a partner who is truly present, attentive, and focused on the mother's needs.
It creates that same sense of being seen and valued, like those factory workers.
You got it. And that can have a huge impact on how the mother experiences labor.
So it's about more than just being a bystander in the room. It's about being a source of support and strength for the mother.
Exactly. And the benefits of this kind of supportive presence are significant.
Like what kind of benefits are we talking about?
We're talking about things like reduced anxiety, increased feelings of comfort, and even a boost in motivation to cope with the challenges of labor.
Now that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in the midst of labor, feeling anxious and uncertain, having someone completely focused on you offering encouragement and reassurance must make a world of difference.
It really does. And it's not just speculation either.
Oh, there's research to back this up.
Absolutely. Studies have shown that continuous labor support, meaning having a dedicated person there for the mother throughout labor, leads to shorter labors, reduced need for pain medication, and higher overall satisfaction with the birth experience.
Wow, that's impressive. So this isn't just about feel-good vibes. There's real evidence that this kind of support has tangible benefits.
Absolutely. But it's important to understand that just being physically present in the room isn't enough.
Oh, so there's more to it than just showing up.
It's about being actively engaged, emotionally attuned, and genuinely supportive throughout the entire process.
Okay, I'm ready to dive into the specifics. What are some concrete ways a partner can harness this Hawthorne effect to provide truly effective support during labor?
Well, before we get into the practical tips, I think it's important to understand the why behind them. Remember that key takeaway from the Hawthorne studies: feeling noticed and valued can profoundly impact our actions.
Got it. So when we apply that to childbirth, the partner's role is to create that same feeling for the mother, to make her feel seen, supported, and empowered, even in the midst of such a challenging experience.
You've got it. And that's where the practical strategies come in. We'll unpack those next time. But for now, I'd like you to consider this. What are some specific ways you can make someone in your life feel truly seen and valued today? It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Sometimes the simplest acts of attention and care can have the biggest impact.
I love that thought. And we'll be right back after a short break to dive into those practical strategies, so stay tuned. Welcome back. We're diving deeper into the Hawthorne effect and how it can play a role in childbirth.
You know, it's amazing how this idea that people thrive on attention and care can have such a powerful effect on something like labor.
Yeah, last time we left off talking about how partners can really make a difference by providing that support.
Right, and today we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of how to do that.
So for a partner who wants to really tap into this Hawthorne effect during labor, where do they begin?
Well, it starts with knowledge. Simply being in the room isn't enough.
Oh, so there's more to it than just showing up.
Exactly. A truly supportive presence requires active engagement and understanding.
Okay, I like where this is going.
The first step is for the partner to understand the stages of labor and what's happening during each phase.
So like doing some research, reading up on what to expect?
Absolutely. Maybe read some pregnancy books, watch some videos, attend a childbirth class together.
So basically they need to equip themselves with the tools to understand what's going on and what the mother might need.
Exactly. Imagine knowing, for example, that during the transition phase, emotions often run high and self-doubt can creep in.
Oh, that makes sense.
Armed with that knowledge, a partner can offer specific words of encouragement and reassurance tailored to that exact moment.
So it's like having a cheat sheet to navigate the emotional and physical roller coaster of labor.
You got it, instead of just saying, "You're doing great," which is always nice to hear, of course.
Sure.
The partner can offer more targeted support based on what the mother is actually experiencing.
Okay, so it's about being an informed participant,
Yeah.
not just a well-meaning bystander.
Exactly, and that knowledge is the foundation for all the other ways a partner can provide support.
Got it. So let's say the partner has done their homework. They understand the basics of labor. What else can they do? What are some other actions they can take to provide that continuous support?
Well, think of labor like a marathon, not a sprint.
Oh, I like that analogy.
And the partner is that constant source of energy and encouragement along the way.
Keeping momentum going.
Exactly. This involves a lot of different actions, big and small.
So paint us a picture. What does this support actually look like in the delivery room?
Well, it starts with being physically present. Offering a reassuring touch, holding her hand, maintaining eye contact.
Those little things can mean a lot.
They really do. It creates a powerful sense of connection and tells her, "I am here for you," through every contraction.
It's like creating that physical and emotional anchor we talked about earlier.
Exactly. And as labor progresses, the partner can adjust their support based on what she needs in that moment.
But being a good listener and observer is just as important as being physically present.
You got it. And communication is crucial. Checking in with her regularly, asking, "What do you need right now?" Or, "Is there anything I can do to make you more comfortable?"
But it's not just about asking questions, right? It's about really listening to her answers, acknowledging her feelings, and validating her experience.
Exactly. Sometimes the most powerful form of communication is nonverbal. Just being there, holding her hand, making eye contact can speak volumes.
Especially when words might fail you.
Right. It's about conveying that deep level of empathy and understanding, that we're in this together feeling.
And creating a positive environment can contribute to that too, right?
Absolutely. The partner can help turn that birthing space into a place that feels safe and comfortable.
I love that idea.
Things like dimming the lights, playing her favorite music, maybe even bringing familiar scents or items from home can make a difference.
So it's about personalizing the environment to create a sense of calm and familiarity.
Exactly. Those little touches can go a long way. And don't underestimate the power of a simple back rub or a cool compress.
Right. It's about creating those small comforts amidst the intensity of labor.
Now, there's another important role the partner plays: advocate.
Oh, right. Childbirth can be overwhelming, especially in a medical setting.
Exactly. The partner can make sure the mother's voice is heard and that her wishes are respected.
So they're kind of a liaison between the mother and the medical staff, helping to make sure everything goes according to plan.
Yes, helping to clarify information, asking questions, and ensuring the birth plan is followed as much as possible.
And that advocacy extends beyond just medical decisions, right?
Absolutely. It could be something as simple as making sure she has water or adjusting the temperature. It's about being attuned to her needs and making sure she feels comfortable throughout.
So a supportive partner can have a really profound impact on the whole birth experience, making the mother feel more secure and empowered.
For sure. But what about the partner's well-being during all of this? Labor can be long and intense for everyone.
That's a good point. It's like they say, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. A partner who's exhausted or stressed won't be able to provide the best support.
So self-care is important for the partner too.
It is. It's a marathon, not a sprint. They need to make sure they're taking care of themselves too.
So taking breaks, staying hydrated, grabbing a bite to eat when they can, those things are all part of being a supportive partner.
Absolutely. And don't forget about relaxation techniques like deep breathing or mindfulness exercises.
To help manage stress and stay grounded.
Exactly. And it's okay to ask for help from family or friends.
Yes. It takes a village.
It does. And remember, every couple is different. What works for one might not work for another.
So communication is key.
Always. Talk about your needs and preferences and approach this as a team.
That's great advice. We've covered so much about how a partner can provide that supportive presence during labor.
And the story doesn't end there.
Oh, there's more.
The impact of this support extends far beyond the delivery room, and that's what we'll explore next time.
Ooh, I can't wait. We'll be back after a short break to discuss the long-term benefits of this approach to childbirth. And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into the Hawthorne Effect and childbirth.
We've come a long way from that 1920s factory, haven't we?
We sure have. But as always, the most important part is understanding how these concepts actually play out in real life.
Absolutely. And today we're going to explore those ripple effects beyond the delivery room.
You know, last time we talked about how partners can provide incredible support during labor.
Right.
And I'm curious, does that positive impact actually extend beyond the birthing experience itself?
It really does. Studies have shown that women who felt supported during labor often report feeling more confident in their ability to parent.
That makes sense. Going through something so intense together must create a strong bond.
It really does. And that bond can be so valuable as they transition into parenthood.
Because let's face it, those first few weeks with a newborn can be pretty overwhelming.
Oh, absolutely. Sleep deprivation adjustments, a steep learning curve.
Having that solid foundation of support between partners must make a huge difference.
Huge. It's like having a built-in support system, knowing you're not alone in those tough moments.
Right, you've got each other's backs. And what about the baby? Does this approach have any impact on them?
It seems so. Research suggests that babies born to mothers who had continuous labor support tend to do better in a few areas.
Like what?
Well, they often show better emotional regulation, have more success with breastfeeding, and even score higher on developmental assessments.
Wow, that's really interesting. So it's not just about the mother's experience. It actually affects the baby's development too.
It really highlights how interconnected our experiences are, you know?
It's like that sense of being supported and cared for kind of radiates outward and influences the whole family dynamic.
Exactly. And that brings us back to that core idea we've been discussing, the Hawthorne Effect.
The power of simply feeling seen and valued.
Exactly. And while we focused on childbirth, this concept can apply to so many areas of life.
It makes you think about all the ways we can create those supportive environments for the people we care about.
Absolutely. And I hope our listeners will take this idea and run with it.
Me too. So to wrap up, we've discovered that the Hawthorne Effect, this idea that people thrive when they feel noticed and valued, isn't just a dusty old factory study.
It's a powerful concept that can transform the way we approach childbirth and so much more.
And by understanding and harnessing this effect, we can create more positive experiences for ourselves and the people around us.
Exactly. So as you go about your day, think about how you can make someone feel truly seen, heard, and valued.
It might be a simple gesture, a listening ear, a word of encouragement.
But those small acts of kindness can make a world of difference.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.
See you then.